This story didn't happen in some remote, shadowy place. It happened in New York City, surrounded by millions of people. And that's what made it so much worse. When Naomi met Darius, she was 26 and completely exhausted. New York had already worn her down, the long commutes, the unpaid internships, the constant pressure to work twice as hard just to get noticed. Darius felt different. He was older, established, and calm. A project manager in tech, well-spoken and protective. He paid attention to her in a way that felt incredibly rare. "You don't need to struggle alone," he told her. And for the first time since moving to the city, Naomi felt anchored. They married quickly. Her friends said it was too fast, but Naomi insisted it felt right. Soon after, Darius insisted they move to a newer apartment in Brooklyn. A high-rise building with security, a doorman and cameras everywhere. "This city isn't safe," he'd say. "I just want to protect us." The apartment was modern and sleek, with concrete walls, narrow windows, and thick doors that closed softly, but completely. But Naomi noticed something strange on their first night. You couldn't hear the city. There were no sirens, no traffic, just an unnerving silence. Darius slept well. The control didn't arrive with a bang. It crept in disguised as concern. Darius didn't like Naomi working late. He didn't like her having male co-workers. He didn't like her taking the train alone at night. So he began driving her everywhere. At first it felt romantic and thoughtful. Then it started to feel necessary, almost mandatory. When Naomi tried to push back, Darius would just sigh. "You're being defensive. You're letting your past trauma talk. You know how the world treats us." Eventually, Naomi stopped arguing. The apartment itself began to feel smaller, more confining. Darius would rearrange the furniture to open up the space, but it only made Naomi feel more boxed in. He installed new locks. He changed the Wi-Fi password. He started handling all the bills himself to reduce her stress. It was then that Naomi realized she hadn't seen her friends in months. When she brought it up, Darius just laughed. "New York friendships fade," he said. "That's normal." But Naomi didn't feel normal. She felt watched. Then came the gaslighting. Darius corrected her constantly. Her tone of voice, her memory of events, her emotions. "That didn't happen like that," he'd say. "You're exaggerating. You always do this." Whenever Naomi cried, Darius would become unnervingly calm and cold. "I can't help you if you won't be rational." Naomi started secretly recording Gigi conversations on her phone, but she'd delete them moments later, afraid of what it meant that she felt the need to do it at all. The first time Naomi noticed the front door locking automatically, she assumed it was just a feature of the building. The second time she asked about it, Darius smiled. "It's safer that way." Then, one night after a heated argument, Naomi tried to leave to get some air. The door wouldn't open. Darius stood behind her, not touching her, just waiting. "You don't need to leave," he said softly. "You're upset. We'll talk when you're calm." Naomi slept on the floor that night. Outside, the city roared on. Subways rumbled, people laughed, life continued, loud and vibrant. But inside the apartment, time seemed to slow to a crawl. Naomi stopped posting online. She stopped answering calls from friends and family. She stopped trusting her own instincts. Darius told her she was lucky. A lot of women don't have a man who cares this much. The worst part wasn't the fear. It was the disbelief. Naomi didn't think anyone would believe her. Darius was charming, respected, and soft-spoken. He volunteered in the community, mentored young black men, and even spoke publicly about the importance of mental health. Who would believe that this man, this pillar of the community, could be a prison warden in his own home? The moment of clarity came one morning as Naomi stared out the narrow window at the city below. She realized something terrifying. She didn't miss her freedom. She missed herself. And she knew if she stayed any longer, there might be nothing left of her to save. Her escape wasn't dramatic. It was calculated. She waited. One afternoon, while Darius was on an important work call, she took his spare phone, the one he'd forgotten to lock. She quickly sent herself the proof she needed: messages, his schedules, photos of the extra locks on the door. Then she walked out while the door was unlocked. She didn't run. She took the elevator down, and when the doors opened onto the street, the sound of New York was deafening. It was alive. Naomi stayed with a friend in Harlem. Police reports followed, then court dates. Darius remained silent to her, but he told mutual friends and family that she was unstable. She told the truth anyway, over and over again. The most dangerous marriages don't always look violent. They look respectable. They look protective. They look reasonable. They happen in the middle of cities full of witnesses, and yet they manage to stay completely invisible. Because sometimes the scariest thing isn't being alone in a city like New York. It's being trapped with the wrong person and knowing that the entire city will just keep moving on without you. Thanks for listening. If you or someone you know is in a similar situation, please know there is help available. We'll leave some resources in the description below.